Hello, everyone. Instead of doing my typical announcements this week, I wanted to share a little bit with you about where we're at as a congregation in the midst of this pandemic and what we're looking ahead to in the coming weeks and months. So we're entering our 8th week now since moving our community online, and we've done a lot together. We've done 7 worship services. We've shared photos online. We've done a lot of calling each other on the phone. And there's been a lot of opportunities to connect via Zoom. I know some of you have become Zoom experts in the last few weeks. And I really feel like we've been reminded again and again that those words that we say each week in church really are true. That the mystery is that we are connected even when we feel apart. Now, I know a few days ago our governor started a second phase of New Hampshire's stay-at-home order, so I wanted to take this time to share with you all what we're planning for the rest of the church year, for this summer, and for next church year. And I know that there's a lot of hunger for us to be together, that's what we would like. But it's also true that this pandemic isn't anywhere close to being over. And as I think about when we might be able to start gathering in person, and our staff thinks about that, our very first priority is your health and safety. So that might mean that we move a little more slowly than other sectors in our state. And so right now we've planned online worship through the end of the year. We're coming up with some creative ideas for how to do things like bridging and our flower communion online and make those meaningful. I also, a few weeks ago, started my summer worship workshop for summer worship leaders, and they are learning how to do worship online. They are excited about it, I think, and a little nervous, but I think they're going to be great. And our staff and leadership are beginning to plan for what it might look like for us to spend all or much of next year in online community as well. Our Sunday morning services are probably going to be one of the last things that are safe to resume just because of the number of people who we have in our church building on Sunday mornings. It might be that before then we can gather in smaller groups, but we don't know yet. We are paying attention to the CDC and the World Health Organization, but also considering the particular needs of our community and our particular population. And so I know that it feels really hard to imagine what another several months or even a full year of social distancing might be like, especially for our congregation where relationship is really central to who we are and what we do. But I know that over these last few weeks, I think that we've shown to each other that being in relationship can happen in all kinds of ways. It's not dependent on being able to gather in person. And I know we'll continue to make that true in the weeks and months to come. Our congregation is so much more than the physical space that we inhabit. And when we're given the challenge of creating community online, we can come up with all kinds of innovative ways to connect, even when we have to be physically apart. We've already come up with lots of fun ways, and I know we'll just continue with that. As we are planning for the next year, over the next month, we'd love your help in imagining together what the next several months might look like. So we're going to have a couple of brainstorming sessions coming up. The first one is going to be with Sadie on May 17th after the service, and it'll be specifically about faith formation and planning faith formation for next year and what that might look like online. She would love to have anyone attend whether or not you've been involved in faith formation in the past. She would love your input. And I'm going to be holding a more general brainstorming session on May 31st, also after the service, to generate ideas about the kind of community that we want to build together next year. Again, everyone is welcome. I would love to have your voice and your ideas there. Both of those will be right after the service, and we'll send out more details as those dates approach. Our annual meeting is also coming up in just over a month at the beginning of June. It'll be held on Zoom at noon on June 7th. That's a Sunday. So our hope is that you'll have enough time between the service and the annual meeting that you can make yourself some lunch and then sit back down and join us again for the meeting. We will be reflecting on this year and looking ahead to next year. We'll be electing leadership and passing our budget for next year. So it's really important that you are there. And if you are a member of the congregation, if you've signed the book and made a pledge, then you are eligible to vote at that meeting. And if you are not sure whether you're eligible to vote, you can feel free to check in with me and I can let you know. If you want to have a deeper conversation about the budget, which will be released in just a couple of weeks, I'm going to be presenting it and answering questions at our annual Budget and Brownies night, which is May 26th. That's a Tuesday at 7 p.m., also on Zoom. I will bring the budget, but unfortunately this year you'll have to bring the brownies. We'll be sending out some recipes in case you want to make some brownies for Budget and Brownies night. Remember to check our newsletter for more programs and ways to connect over the next several weeks. We still have a bunch of things that we're doing weekly, so make sure to check those out either in our newsletter or on our website or on our Facebook page. One thing that's a little different this week is there's no Friday Fun with Ben. Ben's trying to figure out the best time to do Friday Fun, so if you have opinions about that, let him know. We also have some really great worship coming up, so I hope you'll continue logging on Sunday mornings, seeing your faces pop up on my screen, or even just your names if you don't turn on your camera, is really one of the highlights of my week, so I love seeing you on Sunday mornings. This Sunday, we're going to continue our series on reconnecting in a time of disconnection, and we're going to talk about reconnecting with each other. And we're also going to have special guest musicians, Emma's Revolution, who are going to share a few songs with us, which I love their music. If you don't know them, look them up or just come on Sunday and look forward to a treat. If you have any questions or ideas, I'm always available by email, though just so you know, right now my email volume is a little higher than usual because we're totally online. So please be patient. Sometimes it takes me a few days to respond to emails. I am also available on Zoom from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. each Monday for an open office hour. So you can just drop in and chat about whatever is on your mind, whether it has to do with the church or the world or your life, whatever it is. I would love to see you. In these times, I am more grateful than ever to serve a congregation that is as caring, thoughtful, and creative, and as committed as you all are. And I'm especially grateful, and I want to give them a shout out for our stellar staff team who really just astonish me every day with their flexibility and their compassion. If there was anyone I'd ever want to go through a pandemic with, it is you all. We will get through this eventually, as I said on Sunday, and in the meantime, I know that it's easier because we have each other. Hope you're hanging in there this week, and I will be back with you by video next week. Send me a note by Monday if there's anything you want me to include in my announcements, and I hope I will see you on Sunday.